Good evening, everyone. It is July 24th, 2023. Now, what did we have today? Well, ES and NQ both ramped right at the open, breaking their overnight highs, and then they kind of auctioned around as we awaited that flash PMI data. I'm not sure what the data actually said. All I know is that we sold off. And much like last week, and I thought this would change because the rebalance was done, but much like last week, we still had NQ being a weight on the ES. NQ actually broke last week's low. We can throw this up here for you guys. You can see here is last week's low, right around there for that monthly VWAP kind of thing, and it broke down below there. Got right about to my 475 level. What I was looking for was that we were trading right at last week's -2 standard deviation of VWAP. Usually that holds on a Monday, and it did. That established the low of the day. And then we just spent the rest of the day churning inside the initial balance. We never even broke it on the NQ. ES, on the other hand, attempted to break out. It was trying to hold higher and higher. Once again, the same theme we had last week where for today, it was ES holding pretty much the entire day above its open and above VWAP, whereas the Nasdaq pretty much the entire session below the open and just chopping around VWAP. So once again, just NQ being a weight on the ES, it was at least able to reclaim last week's low and kind of churn within there. That was good, but just clearly the weaker ticker of the two over here. Now, coming into tomorrow, what do we have? 10 a.m. we do have consumer confidence, and then after 4 p.m. is going to be the big stuff. That's going to be Microsoft and Google both reporting. Now, this week in general, and this is what I mentioned on the weekly outlook, is that we have so much important stuff happening pretty much every day in that to me, we're just going to be balancing or not really doing any sort of big moves before that FOMC announcement at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. And even after that, you've got Meta. After that, you've got GDP. After that, you've got PCE. You've got all this stuff hitting the tape this week. So what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow is once again a quieter session. And I'm going to be leaning on both ES and NQ to give me an idea of where we're going. In general, the ES has created higher lows of day for 3 sessions in a row now, I believe, or 4. The 718 low at 45 quarter, the 718, 3 days in a row. The 720 low at 57s, the 719 low, 721 low coming in at 64s, and then today's low at 69-ish. So 3 days in a row of higher lows, and the highs kind of mixed. So what I'm thinking is that if this thing manages to get about, let's call it 45.95-ish, if we start holding above here, to me, it looks like a breakout opportunity to break the current high of the year, go up to, let's call it 46.20-ish. That's what I'm going to be watching for the upside. And in that scenario, I'm willing to be bid on the NQ if we have this sort of breakout scenario playing out on ES. Now, instead, if the overnight low breaks during the RTH and therefore the overnight high having a small chance of breaking, I will be hesitant to go long on the Nasdaq. Instead, I'll be trying to find the bid on ES. So here we go. Let's get into this. It's already 4 minutes in. What am I looking for? Let's go to a 1-hour chart so you guys can see this entire picture. That's the S&P. Yeah, that's the Nasdaq. Let's go to the S&P to start. Here we go. If we gap up and that overnight high is taken, I'm looking to get long at today's 4 p.m. close at 84s. Below there, tons of support around 81, 79 all day with support. The weekly open at 75. So in general, I like that whole kind of settlement high is also 84, by the way. So I like that whole kind of 84 quarter to 79-ish area for a long. I like this zone in general for longs. That is if we gap up. Now, instead, if the overnight low is broken, that's the only scenario in which I'll be looking to get short, and I might even get more aggressive than that 86.5. That's all I'm really interested in above that kind of 80-ish number. Below, these actually need to change a little bit. I'm still interested in getting long somewhere around here. I'm not too sure how that's going to play out just yet. I need to see Globex kind of develop a little bit more just yet, but nothing changing to the downside for me. I'm still interested in buying somewhere around 65 and 60. It might take a stop run of these lows first to get me long, but in general, I like that area still. On the Nasdaq, I'm willing to play this thing pretty short. I need to add a few different numbers to here to the upside. There we go. There we go. There we go. Eh, yeah, sure. There we go. On the Nasdaq, again, if ES is breaking out, the overnight high is broken, all that sort of stuff, I'm willing to take these lows long. 537 last week's close, 525, that -2 standard deviation of last week's value area. Willing to take those long and essentially trading with the idea that we do not really break last week's low again. I want to see that hold, and then we can move upwards. If the ES overnight low is broken and therefore looking weak and potentially a sell down to 60 or lower occurring, uh, I'm willing to take 592 short. That was clearly the critical level. I might not even wait for a run of today's high of the day. I might just hit it directly after a stop run of kind of all this stuff. Above there, getting short 642s, kind of the balance from Friday session. Above there, nothing really changing, getting short 758s, that being the weekly point of control, I believe, from last week. Yes, above there, the VWAP closed at 791s. The weekly VWAP closed above there, 803 is a nice level that I've been watching. And above there, some other stuff if we close an RTH gap up here. So, in general, I'm not leaning heavily short or long biased. I need to see how this plays out. I need to see how the ES is doing. If the NQ is going to gap down below last week's low. I need some more information here. There isn't anything extremely clear to me. I might not even trade tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Definitely an update this pre-market. Have a great night. Trade safe if you're trading.